now if we talk about news and new from around the tech space.
Yes, we found some good ones. All right, guess why they did this?
Why?
CrowdStrike. So,
okay. What's the too long didn't read version of this?
Microsoft basically was like, hey, vendors, we don't want to have another CrowdStrike, so we've gone ahead and put some security measures in place so that you dum-dums can't do this to us ever again.
Okay.
Literally, that's exactly what they did. So they talked about this at the Ignite conference. So they've added deployment rings and something called quick machine recovery to make it so that the vendors have to follow protocols for the deployment rings. And then from the IT person's standpoint, you can use the quick machine recovery if you
that's
do
almost
have
like
to restore.
It's like an not necessarily out of band, but sort of out of band. Get in and fix the OS and let it boot.
Yeah,
so
I actually really like this. I mean, it might be a pain, I don't know, but I think it's smart of Microsoft.
Yeah, I think it's a great one.
Because it was a bad look for them. Okay, next up. Oh, I hate that ad. Anyway, I think you're going to hate this, but you might not. I don't know. This was also part of the Ignite thing. So $349. It boots up in seconds, Josh. It wakes up instantly.
Neat.
Do you think it does?
It looks like a thin client to me.
It's actually not. I mean, it kind of is. It is kind of, but yeah, it boots. It is a thin client.
So the too long didn't read version is what, like $350?
Yeah.
The Windows 365 link boots up quickly.
And
lets you run like your Microsoft apps.
Basically, yeah.
So it's a thin client for Microsoft 365 in like the most basic.
Pretty much.
Verbiage.
With all the ports. That was my favorite thing.
Okay. Sony's new update.
This one I thought our nerd friends would love. PlayStation in the cloud.
I'm curious how this is going to compete with like the Steam Deck. I'm curious, like anyone excited about this? Because I have used the Steam Deck and it works really, really well.
Yeah, so Sony did it last year. It seems like PS5 just following the same thing, yeah?
Yeah. So it launched the cloud streaming on PS5, but now this is like their handheld kind of run with it version, right? Mobile.
What do you think? Would you?
I think it's interesting. I'm not a console gamer, but if I was, I think this is really cool.
I just seriously found this yesterday. It just barely launched, so I'm interested to see if people dig it or not.
Me too.
Okay, next up. This one actually really freaked me out. So this is severed fiber cables, 800 miles worth, actually.
Wow.
So it was in Sweden all the way to Germany. Lithuania, Sweden, Germany who was affected. It was a Ukrainian diver, actually, who they arrested. So here's what's funny about this. Not funny / scary, is they don't have any redundancy because they were like, oh, these fiber cables that are on the ocean floor, they're fine. They're totally fine. Apparently not. I mean, they're this big.
Oh yeah,
right?
they're huge. They're multiple strands. They're shielded. They're all kinds of stuff. So it is kind of scary to think about what that looks like at a larger scale.
Yeah.
Right? I have an update for you on this story too.
Oh yes.
I'd love to
They're actually holding a Chinese cargo vessel in the ocean captive. There's a Norwegian or ship that is like sitting there making sure it doesn't go anywhere. They think this was the ship that did it. They can track it. It passed over one cable. 2 minutes later, it went down. They passed over another cable. 2 minutes later, that one went down. So they're like, that's not right.
Well, the thing that's interesting to me is this story, which there's two different instances. This story is like, hey, maybe we should have a satellite redundancy. And I'm like, yeah, you think?
Well, even with satellite redundancy, right? Like the amount of latency that is involved in that type of transmission is like only useful for certain things.
That's true.
Like imagine if you're doing any kind of like banking or trading.
Yeah.
Like those latencies all of a sudden matter a whole lot. And then the available throughput through those is significantly smaller.
Oh.
So I think for like emergency services, like I'm sure there is like other, but for your large amounts of internet traffic, how are you going to do that?
I don't know. I've never thought of it though. Have you? I mean, you have, but I haven't.
I went on a kind of a deep dive one time on like how they actually lay those cables. It's really cool. That's a fun rabbit hole to kind of dive down into if you're into networking tech.
Which you are.
I'm a little bit, yeah.
Oh, this story kind of freaked me out. Okay, anyway, next up.
Okay, this was not really like news. This isn't news. This is more just like my shameless plug to try and talk through this of Qualcomm talks buying Intel, and ARM chips have been in Windows devices for a while now. It's been in Mac, and Mac's able to kind of control that ecosystem, right? Where they can say, hey, we switched to ARM architecture in this M1 chip. You have X amount of time to get on board. They control everything. They can do it. In this Windows world, we've got ARM and Qualcomm chips that are shipping in laptops, right? And it's like, that will do a translation to x86, but then it becomes inefficient. And like, then why are you running ARM? So I'm curious how many people in the chat are seeing this in their environment. Are you kind of jumping on board to ARM native? Are you not? Like,
well, I'm interested also because when we were talking about Server 2025, it functions with ARM. So what's the tie in there?
I think the OS, like the OS is there. The OS will do it. It's everyone else's app. Like, will it run? And you'll see the popular stuff, like everything that you can grab that's commoditized, you know, Chrome, Zoom, whatever. It runs on ARM. It's all of those line of business applications. Like, what does the timeline look like for that?
Something is afoot. You just say commoditized. I really like that word, Josh.
Oh, thanks.
Did you say it because Krista's here?
No, but maybe by her being here,
she made you smarter.
I get like vocabulary boost stats.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I would like to think I have this influence.
Yeah. I put this in here. It's Thanksgiving next week. We're not going to be here. And if you're not making these potatoes, make these potatoes.
Could you make those for me? Because they look delicious.
They are labor intensive, but it's almost equal parts potato to butter. And they're just amazing.
Incredible.
They look delicious.
So I snuck that in there.
Oh my
There you
goodness.
go. Go make those potatoes.
I have a dumb question. Michelin guide, Michelin stars. Is it really the same company?
Sure is.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all.
The tire
Thank you.
company.
Unreal.
Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah. It was a way to get people, like, it's worth the drive, it's worth the trip, it's worth the special destination. Go drive your car.
That's
buy
the
more tires.
link?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the whole. Sorry, the Michelin. It was a ploy for them, like kind of not necessarily marketing stuff, but it was a way for them to indicate the quality and that, okay, if you get this type of food, it's a connection to the fact that like they have quality tires, right? You go to a Michelin star restaurant.
Unreal.
It's just weird. It's one of those weird things that happens in the world that people come up with an idea and it just takes, and now people have like big kudos. Oh, I'm a Michelin, 3 whatever star.
That's why there's tire shops next to all those restaurants.
Yeah, that's
Now I
right.
get it.
Now you get it. All right, let's take a hard left turn.
Thanks for watching this segment from PDQ Live. If you like this, you'll love the full show. Check it out every Thursday at 10 a.m. Mountain. Oh, and like and subscribe, please.